Have you ever heard a strange noise in your house and just brushed it off? A creak in the floorboards, a rattle in the pipes, ... What if it was something else? What if it was the sound of someone breathing? This is the true story of a college student in North Carolina who experienced something straight out of a horror movie. It started subtly. She'd be home alone, studying or watching TV, and she'd hear it. A faint, rhythmic sound, almost like breathing. It seemed to be coming from inside the walls. At first, she thought she was imagining things. Maybe it was the house settling or the wind. But the sound persisted, growing just a little louder, a little more distinct each day. It was unsettling, a constant, low-level hum of anxiety in her own home. One day, she noticed something odd in her closet. A loose panel in the back wall. It was almost perfectly hidden, flush with the rest of the wall, but when she pushed on it, it gave way. It was a door. A tiny, makeshift door leading into the dark, dusty space behind the walls. Her heart pounded in her chest. Every horror movie she'd ever seen screamed at her to close the door and run, but curiosity and a terrifying need to know took over. She grabbed a flashlight and peered inside. The beam cut through the darkness, revealing a cramped, narrow space. And in that space, a blanket. Crumpled and dirty, as if someone had been sleeping on it. Next to it were several empty food wrappers and water bottles. It was a nest. Someone had been living inside her walls. The police were called, and the truth was more bizarre than anything she could have imagined. They reviewed security footage from a hidden camera the landlord had installed due to previous concerns. The footage was chilling. Late at night, when the house was dark and silent, the hidden door would creak open. A man would crawl out from the wall cavity. He would move silently through her apartment, a shadow in the dark. He'd go into her kitchen, help himself to her food and drinks, and then retreat back into his hiding spot before dawn. He never touched her, never stole any valuables. He just ... like a parasite, feeding off her life without her ever knowing. The man was later identified as Andrew Swafford. It turned out he had a history of similar offenses. He wasn't a ghost or a monster. He was a real person who had found a way to become invisible, living in the forgotten spaces of someone else's life. This story makes you think, doesn't it? How well do we really know our own homes? The spaces we believe are our private sanctuaries. The police discovered that Swafford had likely been living in the walls for weeks, perhaps even months. The student he was terrorizing had no idea. She would shower, and he would be just a few feet away, separated only by a thin layer of drywall. She would sleep, and he would be listening to her breathe. The psychological impact of such a violation is hard to comprehend. Your home is supposed to be your safe space, the one place in the world where you can let your guard down. For this student, that sense of security was shattered forever. The police report detailed how he had created this little den for himself. He had access to the attic and crawl spaces of the apartment complex, which allowed him to move between different units' wall cavities. It was a small, interconnected world hidden behind the facade of normal life. He chose this particular apartment, and for weeks, he observed the student's routine, learning her schedule, her habits. He knew when she'd be gone, when she'd be asleep. He synchronized his life with hers, a silent, unseen roommate. The breathing sound she heard, it was him, sleeping in his nest, just on the other side of her bedroom wall. The thought is enough to make your skin crawl. When the police finally apprehended him, he was reportedly calm, almost as if he expected to be caught eventually. He offered no real explanation for his actions, no grand motive. He just needed a place to stay, and this hidden world within the walls was the place he chose. This lack of a clear motive is perhaps the most disturbing part. It wasn't about money or malice. It was simply about proximity, about existing in someone else's space without permission. It's a profound violation of privacy and personal safety. The student understandably moved out immediately. She couldn't stay in a place that held such a terrifying secret, a place where her safety had been an illusion. This case serves as a chilling reminder to always trust your instincts. If something feels wrong in your home, if you hear a strange noise that you can't explain, don't just ignore it. That little voice in the back of your head telling you something is off might just be right. Check your locks, be aware of your surroundings, and never dismiss your own intuition. You never know who or what might be listening from the other side of the wall. It's a story that makes you want to go and check every closet, every nook and cranny in your own home. Because sometimes the scariest monsters are not the ones in movies, but the real people hiding in plain sight, or in this case, just out of sight. This story also highlights the importance of mental health. While Swafford's actions were criminal and terrifying, they also point to a person in a desperate situation. It's a complex issue with no easy answers. If you or someone you know is struggling, please know that there is help available. Reaching out to a mental health professional or a support hotline can be a life-changing first step. You are not alone, and there are people who want to help you find a safe and healthy path forward. For the victim in this story, the trauma is real, and healing will take time. Our hearts go out to her and anyone who has experienced such a terrifying violation of their personal safety. The story of the man in the wall is a dark rabbit hole to fall down. Online forums are filled with people sharing their own experiences with strange noises, unexplained phenomena in their homes, and the unsettling feeling of not being alone. While most of these can be explained away, this case proves that sometimes the most unbelievable explanation is the true one. It forces us to confront a primal fear, the invasion of our safest space by an unknown threat. It's the ultimate home invasion, one carried out not by force but by stealth and silence. So next time you're home alone and you hear a sound you can't place, pause and listen. It's probably just the house settling. It's probably just the pipes. But maybe, just maybe, it's something else. Thanks for watching. If this story gave you chills, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more unbelievable true stories. Stay safe out there and always check your closets.